Okay, welcome to the Blueberry Funded Trader Spotlight, where we sit down with some of the most talented traders in our community and dive deep into their journey, strategies, and really how they came to the point that they're at today. So whether you're an aspiring trader or a seasoned pro, these conversations aim to give you real insights into what it takes to succeed in the prop world. Today I'm excited to introduce Saket, one of our standout traders who's been making waves with their impressive performance. So look, welcome to the interview, Saket. It's good to have you on.
Thank you so much. Hello everyone. My name is Saket and I am a trader from India, and people know me from the trader who did road to 100k, and there is nothing more special in road to 100k in funding, but the special part was that I completed road to 100k with only $30. Yes, I purchased only one challenge of $5,000, and from that challenge I have scaled to 100k in funding. And at that time the whole industry known that there is a name Saket from India and he is doing something good in prop firm industry.
100%, and I think it was something I was going to touch on a bit later, because you are quite prominent online, on social media with a lot of the content you do. But I guess taking a step back from that, because I think we definitely want to talk about that road to 100k, because it's a very impressive journey that you've had. But I guess could you tell us a little bit about your trading journey and where you originally began when you got into trading?
Yeah, before trading I did two profession. Actually from past 8-9 years I am a dance choreographer. Currently I am not doing dance, but I was actively in dance choreography, teaching kids in school functions and running my own dance class as well. And after that I did a social media work where I was managing creators, some of creators from Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I was giving them brand collaboration, and from that I have saved up around $10,000, more than $10,000, and that is a lot of money in India. People who are watching from India or they know the financial conditions of India, $10,000 is life savings on some people from in India, right? So I saved up that amount, but when I was doing that social media work, I was thinking in my mind that that is not a stable thing I can do for my lifetime career. I was looking for some options, and there was a school friend of mine who was living in Dubai at that time. He was doing job. He introduced to me trading, and he came back India. There is like opposite thing, because people want to travel and shift to Dubai after making something good in trading, but he came back to his hometown after making something in his trading, right? So that was something new for me. I go on to his home regularly for like 20-25 days, and after that I started my own journey in my home. I made up my setup in my room and started my trading at exact 2022 1st January. So it's like 3 years and 4 months we can say, and first 2 years was, everyone know that, hell lot of time, painful time. But yes, from past 1.5 year I am making a consistent money from own funds to prop firm as well.
It's great to hear, and look, I think the awesome thing about trading is obviously a lot of people started part-time, or people come from such different beginnings when it comes to trading. I've met, from my experience and background in the prop space and brokerage, hundreds, thousands of traders, both online and in person. And it's interesting to hear about how people's, backgrounds and previous careers influence how they trade. But I must say, Saket, this is probably the first time I've met a dance choreographer, transition into trading.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a different one. Is there any sort of skills in sort of your previous careers, whether it was dancing or teaching people or social media, that you think helped pave the way for how you trade, or sort of how your journey in trading? And I ask that because, and it's something that, it's not part of our set questions, but I always ask it in these interviews because it's interesting, as I said, that, trading's very psychological. It's very character and personality driven, and sort of the person you are. You might take a long time to learn trading, but the person you are also influences how you trade and your background and everything you've done. So I guess, is there anything sort of from your previous careers or sort of jobs you've done that influence the way that you trade, or the way, I guess, your approach to trading, I should say?
Yes, 100%. The thing is that when I was doing dancing career, I was very aggressive. Whenever I was going in dance competition, I was feeling like I am the winner of that competition. So there was a winner mindset in my mind. So when I started trading in first 3 months, at that time passing a prop firm was not joke. I am saying that proudly because in 2022 there was a limit of 30 days passing of phase 1, and at that time clearing a prop firm was like clearing a tough exam. At that time I was into trading with only 3 months and I passed the $50,000 challenge. And at that time my follower was around 70 and I got 150 DMs in my Instagram after I posted that certificate. So that was shocking and it was new for me as well. After I passed that challenge, I was believing in myself. I was trading by my own strategies. But that prop firms did something fishy with me. They reduced my leverage. Whenever like in phase 1, phase 2, I was taking 5 lots on $50,000 account and they reduced it to 0.30 only. So that was something crazy, and I was not able to take payout. And that moment was something disturbing for me. After that I start believing in myself. So I was keeping looking on influencers and some fake gurus on signal service, some fake mentorship and all that stuff. Wasted so much of my money. And I say that whenever you are learning from a fake guru, right, you are not only learning, you are investing your time, you are investing your money as well in his fees, and whatever he will teach, you will trade that as well with your money, right? So there are 4 5 things will waste if you are trading with a fake guru. So that was the time when I was not believing in myself. But when after 1.5 2 years I lost everything, then I thought that what I was doing, how I passed the $50,000 in my 3 months. So answer was I was believing in myself. I was trading whatever I was looking, not any kind of attractive strategies. This name. I was trading just I was looking. So I did that again. And yes, after that, same thing I say every time, that you have to believe yourself. You don't need to see a big influencer. Your journey is different, his journey is different. You can't relate a person who is making $10,000 monthly and you are trading $100 account, right? So that's the thing, was influence from my past career, that I was aggressive, but yeah, I was disturbed with some things, but then I came back to same mindset as well.
How do you think traders, because you've touched on a few things there. One, you've touched on, because look, it's no secret, this industry, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, there's a lot of misleading people. Ultimately that's the way it is. But I think it's our job as people that, run businesses or promote, prop firms, do the right thing and know, to educate traders as well on how to avoid these sort of bad actors in the space. So I guess really, I think you touched on, bad prop firms and I think bad, fake gurus. I mean, what advice would you give to traders to want to be on the lookout for, to avoid, when it comes to the, just dodgy people in this space, whether they're running a prop, a broker, they're selling courses? What should people be on the lookout for, you think?
See, the thing is that if you want to, look any prop firm for a long-term perspective, you always have to divide your capital, right? I'm not saying that you have to trade only one prop firm. Trade multiple prop firm, diversify your capital, so that if something happens with one prop firm, you are not losing your whole capital, right? It's happened with me 3 times. First time I told you what happened. Second time there was a prop firm which was collapsed. You know the name, that was the top in the industry at that time. And at that time I was only trading with that prop firm and my whole funding was just vanished overnight. And I learned that lesson, and same thing happened with me last year. But at that time I was not lost everything. I lost only 30% of my entire capital. So only thing is, I have to suggest to the people, always ready for the things. If you are hammering prop firm, for example, if you have passed 100k and you are making 20%, which is very high return, you are not going to make that continuously, and that's like a high risk, high gambling type of behavior. Just make 2-3% and withdraw that amount. I do that, and that's the reason I have took around 25 to 30 withdrawals in last 8 months. I have took 30 withdrawals from prop firm, multiple prop firm. The only reason is that I trade multiple prop firm and also I withdraw 2-3%. You don't have to chase 10% every month, 10% every payout cycle. Just withdraw 2-3% or leave that account until the payout receive in your bank account. So that's the thing you can do. And also you can ask people like your friend who is taking multiple payouts. You can ask which prop firm to trade. You can do your research, and you have to ready for everything. If you are doing something bad, you don't have to blame the prop firm. That's your mistake. I have seen that traders do not read the rules. They are not aware of all the rules prop firm have, and then they will breach any rule, and then they will blame the prop firm that they did scam with me. That's not a right thing. You have to understand that that is your homework, that you have to make yourself ready before purchasing a challenge from any prop firm.
Yeah, and that last point is it's definitely a good one to bring up, because I think look, ultimately a prop firm challenge is a product. People that buy them are clients or consumers to the prop firm. But that being said, as the name implies, it is a challenge. It is something with rules. It is something that you have to overcome. And even though you're a consumer of the product technically, it is still a very two-way relationship at the same time. And firms put effort into putting those rules in place. And really trading, as much as you can be very loose with it, the markets can be very volatile. It is a very serious pursuit for people to enter into. So it's not a huge ask, or something for firms want their traders to look into all the rules and everything they put out there in order to follow them. And it's an important thing for traders to understand as well. So I think that's it's definitely a very valuable point that people don't talk about enough, because really it's not even just a part of the two-way relationship between a trader and a prop firm. It's for the trader's own benefit to read the rules, analyze it, think about how it applies to their strategy. And look, even though obviously we're always going to back Blueberry funded and Blueberry markets first and foremost here, look, we definitely understand based on the surveys we've done of our own clients, people are always going to trade with multiple brokers, multiple prop firms, and we understand that it's good to test out your strategy on different kinds of challenges, different conditions, to sort of see where it works best as well. So sometimes it's part of the learning phase of being a trader, is trying out different venues for your trading until you find one that's really best suited for you. So there's definitely some, I agree with you on so many of those points, and I think they're definitely solid advice for traders. But I think moving on to the actual trading side, because it's good to understand what sort of strategies our successful traders have at Blueberry Funded. So what trading strategies do you usually implement? Like, what sort of, you a swing trader, scalper, or sort of what is your approach to trading on prop accounts and getting to those payouts?
See, I am some kind of intraday trader, you can say. I trade swings, but I close my position within the day, because you have to understand that prop firm have a rule of end of the day drawdown. Sometimes when you are trading swings, the end of the day drawdown is little bit difficult for us. So I managed my entire strategy according to prop firm. And you know what? You will be surprised, before entering the last year when I did road to 100K with only $30, 6 months I have invested in $100 account on Real Broker. I made a $100 account in Real Broker, and I was trading that broker account with prop firm rules. I was not losing more than 5% a day. I was not losing 10% in entire capital, and I was aiming 8% and 5%, 8% and 5%. And I did that same thing continuously to 6 months. And that thing made me my strategy to a point that I can say yes, I am ready for the prop firm, because I have invested my 6 months into all the rules. So I have made my strategy according to prop firm. And for the strategy part, see, I trade Fibonacci retracements. I trade sometime higher low, higher lower low, lower high, higher low, higher low, higher high. Then sometimes I higher time frame candles. I look at higher time frame candles, whichever direction they are closing, I trade same direction. For example, some of my strategy setups are based on a time frame, and at that time frame, whenever hourly candle close in that direction, the next hourly candle goes in same direction. So I have same type of strategies. The candle will close in direction, and I have to take buy. If it is closing in bias, I will take bias. If it is closing in sells, I will take sells. So one trade a day, two trades a day, that's max. No matter whatever strategy you are doing, I have seen from my experience that every strategy works in the market if you are investing your own mind and your own edge. What people do, they will keep asking for strategies to strategies, and they were jumping from one strategy to another strategy. If they will give 6 months continuously to one strategy, they can make their own trading patterns, which will make them profitable.
Yeah, you've raised some really good points there. And on that last one, it's backed by a lot of behavioral finance studies as well, that one of the most damaging things to any portfolio, not just in CFD trading, but really in anything, is changing investment streams or changing strategies. On average, changing, investment stream, has like a net yearly loss between, 1 and 3%. A lot of studies have shown. And I always found that really interesting because you have people that constantly keep changing strategy, looking for those short-term successes when instead they don't try to perfect one or learn it inside and out, understand the pros and cons of it, when it works best in the market, what sort of conditions it works best on. And that's really such a true point. But I think you've also hit on something really important for traders, which is, and the reason I love prop firms is they are very educational. I come from a brokerage background. I've seen tens of thousands of traders on the broker side. And after the prop space really kicking into gear over the last 2 to 3 years, I genuinely believe that prop firm traders are on average better traders than people that purely start off at a brokerage. And the data from what I've seen really backs that.
See, for this, I have something to share with the audience. See, if you are depositing, $100 in a broker, how much you can make in 6 months or 3 months, we can say $50, because that's the average return. Banks are giving 20% returns yearly. Hedge funds are giving 20-30% returns yearly. If you are making 100% every month, that is not trading. Real trading is when you are making 4 to 5% each month. So if we are trading $100 account, we will make $50 in 3-4 months in a proper way of trading. But I'll tell you one calculation, the way I trade. For example, we will take an example of Blueberry $25,000 account, right? Right now, if we will add coupon, we can purchase the $25,000 account in $100, right? You have purchased 5 challenge. You started you started trading your challenge number 1, you lost, no issue. You started trading challenge number 2, you lost. You started trading challenge number 3, you passed phase 1 and you lost in phase 2. No matter what happening, you have to pass one challenge out of 5. If you can pass one challenge and you can make only 2%, you will receive a withdrawal of $500, and your whole investment will cover even after failing 4 challenge. People do not understand that. If they have $500, what they will do, they will purchase an account of $500 of entire capital. But they can do, they can purchase 5 challenge, and now they have 5 tries. We will learn more in 5 tries. We are not going to learn so much in only 1 try. We can learn so many things in 5 tries. So that's the thing I do. I am saying proudly that I have 50% of accuracy. If I will take 10 challenge, I will lose 5 challenge. But if I will take withdrawal from only 2 challenge out of 10, I will make 50-60% of my entire capital. So that's the power of prop firm. People are not aware of these calculations, like how we do that.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting, and I always find it's funny considering how much math and numbers there are involved in trading and markets, margin requirements, so many things, swap fees, commissions, all these math and numbers. People sometimes don't see the most clear math right in front of them, and it really is about discipline and math. And it's a really great point you brought there. I mean, people, obviously, working with a lot of traders, working in the trading space, people approach me all the time about, investment schemes, strategies they have, and they say things like, you're saying it's like, I can make, 20-30% a month. I've made X% over the last year, and you always bring it back to the basics. It's like, well, the best hedge funds in the world are doing 40-50% a year. They have tens of millions of dollars at their disposal for research, development, staff, quants, all this stuff. What do you have that they don't have to reach that conclusion? Because I don't believe what you're doing is sustainable with those kind of returns if you have a tiny fraction of the resources that a large hedge fund or someone like that has. So it's something to really sort of bring it back to basics in that sense. And I think you're entirely right. The best traders, you hit on it earlier, and it's a good point. I think I've always said that there is a correlation between how big a trader's first payout is and the lower likelihood of them reaching a second payout. Because really, if you're the kind of person who comes in and makes a huge 10% for your first payout, like really, we all know long term, and the numbers and the data back it, the people that are looking for smaller, consistent gains have a higher chance of seeing repeated long term sustainable success. So the people that just make it big on the first withdrawal, much more likely that they have a gambling short-term mindset and they blow the account before they get to the next payout. So in every one of these trader interviews, we've only done a few so far, they always come back to that. And which is part of our ethos as a firm, which is built on decade of broker and prop experience and a lot of data, is that less is more. Patience is key, and trading less and more sustainably over the long term will give you more success than trying to win it big quickly. And look, it sounds like common sense, but the data also shows most traders who do prop challenges don't follow that. So I think seeing you, someone who has done that road to 100k challenge and gotten a lot of payouts, that's it's good to hear it from your side as well, to help educate traders on that side of the industry and how to best trade. So I guess we've covered a lot of really interesting, parts on this, and I think you talked about in the last point that you have, your win rate versus, I guess, breach rate on challenges and how you find success. But I guess sort of, one thing we always like to talk to people about is sort of what's been your biggest loss over your trading career, whether it's losing accounts, it could be a large losing trade. Sort of, what's been the worst case loss for you, and sort of how did you recover from it to get to where you are now? Let's pause here for a moment. Just as we wanted to thank you for taking the time to watch this podcast, we're going to be giving one lucky winner a 25k two-step account. In order to enter, please put a comment below with your favorite part of the interview and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get back to the podcast. Thank you for watching.
See, my journey is very depressed and tough. Sometimes I'm not comfortable, because the thing is that people will not believe how I reached this level of success. People will never ever believe. I never share my 100% of tough parts. So as I told you that I entered the forex industry with more than $10,000 in investments, right? I lost that entire amount within 1 year, and that was like depression for me. Every night I was crying in my bed. And then my partner, she is a government school teacher. She saved up around $5,000, $6,000. She had more funds, but she gave me her own savings to me. And that time I was not believing in myself, as I told you, because when a trader is losing his money continuously in the market, he thinks that only he is the culprit of the market. Market is doing bad to him. Market is hunting in stop loss. Every trader is making money. Only I am not making money. All these thoughts are coming in our way when we are in way of become profitable. So at that time, when I lost my entire savings, every night was, every day, every night was painful for me. So she came in my life. She was there with me before I entered in trading space. She gave me her own savings, and at that time I thought that I have to make it right now, because if I will not make right now, we both will go bankrupt, right? So that's the moment I took that all these things seriously. I started back testing whole night. The only thing that made me profitable is back testing. I have that much of library in my trading setup right now. I have that much of notebooks. I tested around 100 strategies in market, and now I have 2-3 strategies that made me profitable. So people think that they can ask a trader in his DM, please give me strategy, and he will give his strategy and your trading will change. That's not gonna happen. You have to go through all the pain. I never seen a trader who made in trading in 6 months. I'm not talking about that in 6 months he took one withdrawal and he is trader. No, if you are making consistent profits, that's the way we can say that you are a consistent trader. Me myself, I passed a $50,000 challenge account in my first 3 years of trading career, but I can say at that time I was not profitable. I am now profitable because right now I am making a consistent money. A one big withdrawal or one payout is not means that you are a trader. A trader is who are having multiple payouts. A trader who is having a big fund or a fund according to his lifestyle.
Yeah, look, I think you've raised some really good points there. There's a few to unpack, and I think it's really great to hear that how supportive your partner was through that experience. Because I think it, we always see trading as a solo pursuit. It's something you're just doing yourself. It's you versus the market, and like you said, sometimes you're thinking the whole market's against you. But it's important to note that there's a whole community of traders out there impacting the market, the movements, whether they're retail, wholesale, institutional, and there's so many people involved in it that we sometimes lose track of that. But I think it's really important to surround yourself with good, positive people as well. Yes. And that's why it's great to hear that your partner was there to support you at that time with capital, which is important. But I think what's more important is emotional support and psychological support. Because I think everyone wants to act like they did it all themselves, and everyone's you see these influencers and fake gurus, they're really tough, and it's it's all them. But I think all great trading businesses, all great traders, they're teams ultimately. There's people that assist them, whether it's your family, friends. You got to surround yourself with positive people that are going to help teach you and make you better at what you do. And that's not just for trading. I think that's everything in life, and it's something I think a lot of gurus, a lot of influencers don't talk about enough. It's about it's really about having positive people in your life.
And you know what, at that time what I was doing wrong, I was keep purchasing $50,000 account. In my mind there was a thinking that if I will pass a $50,000 account and I will withdraw 10%, I will cover all my loss. But what happening was I was keep losing the fees. And my partner told me, why don't you start with a smaller account? And I was not agreeing with his statement, whatever she was suggesting to me. I was keep purchasing bigger and bigger accounts. But the journey of my life was changed when I started with $5,000 account. And you know what? I started with 5,000 and now I am trading on $25,000 account. So it's all 5 to 10, 10 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 200k. You are new in trading and you are started your trading career with 200k challenge. 101% you will fail. You don't know how to manage that big account. In your pocket you are having a money of $100 or $1,000 and you are investing everything in one challenge, you will lose. So that's the thing.
100%. I think it's that it's when you're a Formula One driver, you don't just step into an F1 car one day and you're ready to race. You start with smaller cars, smaller tracks, smaller leagues, things like that, and you build your way up. And it's the same thing. It happens on the broker space as well. You're great on a demo account. You go to a live account. That live account could have $50 in it. But the psychological difference between demo money and real money is huge. And likewise, in a prop challenge, the difference between psychologically a $5,000 challenge and a 200K challenge, it's very different, and it does get to you. And again, people might pretend that it doesn't, but just there's something about those larger numbers gives you more pressure if you haven't psychologically prepared yourself. And you were speaking about it earlier, but I think that it's that role of, you phrased it really well. You have to feel pain in this space. I think anyone who hasn't felt pain is not successful long term. I would argue in anything, but I would definitely say, especially in trading, because it's going to teach you a lot. And that's the thing about what's corrupted, especially the prop space a lot. I think I can speak about this from the business side of it. So many prop firms have really tried to corrupt the narrative, and it's all about making things easier for traders. Higher leverage, bigger drawdown, cheaper challenges, massive discounts, and it's a bit counterintuitive because ultimately, and it's no secret, trading is really hard. It's only a minority of people that are good at it long term. And so the whole industry is trying to do this race to the bottom and make it out like it's easier and easier and easier and cheaper, which flies in the face of the reality that traders actually have to face. And look, it's hard being a firm like us sometimes. We're quite conservative. We don't sugarcoat it. Like I always say, when traders buy a challenge, they should expect a challenge. That's what it is. Because ultimately trading is hard, and our rules and our conditions and evaluations reflect that, because we believe with that you will be a sustainable and better trader over the long term. It might make it harder to get one of those 10-20% gambling payouts, but that's the point. We're trying to make it, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm saying it's going to be worth it in the long term for you as a trader, and it helps make the firm more sustainable too. So everybody wins. So I think everything you're saying is right. There is definitely, people are always going to have an aversion to pain and suffering. but ultimately need to realize that it's that pain and suffering, especially when trading, it's going to make them a lot better in the long term and face those hard truths earlier on, so you don't get that false confidence and that ego and then blow an even bigger account down the line.
Yeah. And you know what, people, sometimes, as I told you that I have, right now a strong following. Every day 10 traders are sharing, their struggling parts. Some traders are saying that a trader sent me his journey. He was saying that her mom died and there was an insurance of $30,000, and he invested that insurance money in trading and lost everything. And now how depressing this is, that her mom died. That's a depressing part. And the insurance money he invested in trading and lost everything. And then he is asking me, there is a mentor who is saying that take a mentorship from me, and I will help you to recover that $30,000 loss in 1 year. And the fees of that mentor is $500, and he is asking me that should I join, and that and that. So these kind of stories people every day share to me, and I tell them every time, if I haven't lost everything of my savings in the trading career, I'm not that guy who is going to inspire so many people. How I will inspire people when I am not struggling, when I am not taking hard paths in my trading journey? So that's the thing, you are not going to make in any field of the world without struggle. You have to struggle, you have to face hardships, setbacks, and all these things, scams and money investment, all these things happen. Then you will become a successful trader, or a successful any kind of person you want to become, any kind of business you are doing, any athlete you want to become. You have to face the struggle.
100%. I couldn't agree more. But I guess going into the long term, I mean, because you seem very successful at this point with getting payouts. You've gone through the hardship. You've been on a 3+ year journey at this point.
Yeah.
But I think there's one thing that I think as traders we always look at. You're getting the payouts, you're getting the money coming in, and that's it. You just do that perpetually forever. But I guess it's not always the case. You can always keep growing and keep improving and doing different things. So, I mean, what is your goal in trading, and where do you see yourself and your trading in 2, 3, more years into the future?
That's the very interesting part. See, the mind, the path, the goal I am chasing is different from the entire world. Actually, I don't want to make crazy money. I just want to make a normal income, and I want to travel entire world with my partner, eat things I like, because I'm a foodie guy. I like to eat anything I want. I don't care about my health. I eat every day. When I was doing loss, when I was losing my money, still I was eating junk food and all these things. So I'm a foodie guy, and I want to eat entire food dishes of entire world, and I want to travel. So all these things can be possible with only $5,000 monthly income. You want to travel, you are earning $5,000, that's fine, you can travel. I'm not chasing crazy money. I don't have crazy expectations from trading. I just want to live a peaceful life and enjoy my financial freedom, because the day when we start trading, what the thing a trader wants to take from trading is a financial freedom, a time freedom. He wants to work from anywhere, he wants to work anytime he wants. But then traders forget that they are sitting in the chart for 24 hours. Why you are sitting in chart for 24 hours? If you are back testing, that's good, but if you are continuously looking for trade for 24 hours entire day, that's not trading. Why you started trading? That go do a job or any kind of business if you want to invest the entire day in something, right? So that doesn't mean I'm not growing. There was a time when I was earning only $200-300 in 1 month, but now it's like 10x. It's growing with same expectation. It will grow, but I don't have any goals. I just want to enjoy the time freedom, because I am a very chill trader. I want to sit in my bed entire day, trade, and that's it. I don't want to work too much, and that's the reason I started trading. I want to travel, I want to enjoy my life, and that's the thing. That's possible with only $5,000 as well. So that's the thing.
So no Lamborghini and Dubai penthouse is
No,
what
no,
you're
no, I hate Dubai. Earlier it was a dream for me, but the thing is that I love my country, and I have learned something from someone like an inspirational person in my life. He told me that the where you come from is the thing you have to give back. So right now the motive I started Instagram is I want to change the perspective of traders thinking. Every content of my Instagram is an inspirational content. I share my journey. You will not believe, Marcus, that I grown $20,000 20,000 followers with only 100 500 payouts. That's crazy thing, because I have seen gurus are showcasing luxurious thing and they are not having that kind of crazy following I have right now, and I am proud of that, because the loophole, the thing which was missing in trading industry, especially in India, I am fulfilling that. I am connecting myself, my journey with the traders that losing, because they need someone like them. They don't need a
Yeah,
trader.
you're authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're authentic in what you do, and that's really important. And that's why I joked before about the penthouse and Lamborghini and that, because the funny thing is when you meet institutional traders, you meet guys who work at like UBS or funds or things like that. The funny thing is, it's like they're not guys in Lambos and penthouses. They're just really ordinary, down to earth guys who like to chill out, and they just love trading and they love markets. That's the thing. They do the trading and that because they love it, and because they love it, they're then good at it. And they do it because they want an income and they just want to live their life. That's what I've always kind of learned when I meet those professional, really top tier institutional traders. Funnily enough, there's no Lambos and penthouses and things like that there. That's a bit of a myth, and that's more of an influencer side of things. But also, if you come into trading, and I think what you've highlighted is really good, make enough money to live off, make enough money to chill out and enjoy your time. That's the best luxury. If you come in with the goals of being a millionaire and getting the Lamborghini and stuff, you're putting so much pressure on yourself. And like I said before, that pressure, and it's not good pressure, it's not pressure that's come through learned experience, pain and suffering. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, and the stakes get higher, and that's when you start to gamble. And that, if you want to make, comes back to that sort of mindset is where the people that want to make 10-20% a month, that's where it comes from. And so I think looking for stability, or just a solid income, that's really the goal you should have. Otherwise, you're just going to delude yourself, and that ego is going to kill you in your trading. So I think the mindset you have is very on point in that, and I think that's the reason why your following has been so great, because it's authentic, because you're not showing Lamborghinis and things like that, and you're not showing fake payouts. It's all legitimate, and you've done the journey, because you did the journey from how much was it, $30 or $50 you were saying?
Yeah, $30 of $5,000 account.
Exactly, because really a lot of these influencers that have a lot of capital in the first place, they can buy 20, 30, 200k accounts, and eventually one of them will get that 10 grand payout and they'll show it off. How many of them can go from $50 and scale that up to a massive payout slowly? And because that's the thing, is it doesn't work for them, because one, they're not good traders, but secondly, they don't like doing things slowly. They want to get that big payout, show it off, sell some courses, get a bunch of followers quickly. And like I said before, good things don't come quickly in this space. It takes time and suffering, and if the person who is trying to sell you a course isn't willing to go through that, it's probably not worth buying the course from them ultimately. So I think it's really great to see how you've built this journey of yours from a really, lost a lot of money and learnt a lot of lessons, to then starting really small and scaling slowly, to also then building a very authentic following. Because it's really like that story arc, that journey, I think is really awesome. And I'm really glad that you've gotten payouts. A lot of that progress has been with our prop firm, but I think in general, that aside, it's really great to see. So I'm excited to see what you're going to do over the long term with this continued journey. And obviously, for those watching, we'll leave your handles and everything on social media in the description, so you can continue to follow Saket's journey in trading, and all the awesome things I really believe you're going to continue doing. But yeah, look, it's been really great to have you on the interview, on sort of our trader spotlight. Was there any sort of final or closing thoughts you wanted to give to any traders out there watching?
Yes, I have so many things to share. First, the thing I want to share, that in trading, if you are entering with a larger amount, that doesn't mean you are gonna make in trading. And in trading, if you don't have money, that's also doesn't mean you are not going to become a trader. I entered with more than $10,000 and I lost. But after that, I made that successful part with only $30. So what does that mean? That means that if you have so much money, that's not the thing that you're gonna make in trading. But also, if you have less money, that's also a chance that you're gonna make in trading. The thing you have to focus in trading in your own journey. Don't watch the influencer who are trading from past 10 years. You started this month and you are comparing yourself from the person who is trading in the market from past 10 years, right? So that's the thing. The number one tip I want to give to a trader is you have to believe yourself. Just give 6 months to yourself, just 6 months, one pair, one same time, one session, and you're gonna make your own strategy. Because if I have 10 friends, that means that I am not a close friend to anyone. There is only one friend who is close to me. So that's the thing. If you are trading 10 different pairs, that means you are not a master of any single pair. You have to choose one pair and not entire day. Choose just only 3 hours of your day. You can do a part-time job as well beside the day, and you can do only 3 hours of trading same time. When you will see a pair, for example gold, every day for same time, 6 months, you will understand how gold moves. Because now I don't have to mark a single line on my chart. I will sit on my desktop setup or my phone, I will see the market, and yes, I have the idea what's going to happen. So that's kind of mindset and psychology strategy you have to build.
And I completely back that and agree with it for a few reasons. I've seen guys or traders, more than 10,000. I've seen people lose over $100,000 at a broker. And this shows the power of prop firms and the power of discipline. They then go, they don't want to lose massive sums of money or trade massive sums of money on the brokerage side. So they do a prop challenge. And funnily enough, the discipline and that they learn on a prop challenge, ends up seeing more returns to them over the long term. Because in a way, prop challenges, your worst enemy in trading is yourself a lot of the time, and your own psychology. And the thing about a prop firm is it kind of protects you from the worst side of yourself by giving you those limits and those rules to act with. So that's 100% spot on and true. And I can't agree more. And I think it's sort of great to see. I think you're definitely in line with the ethos of our firm, our commitment to sustainability. It's about taking things slowly but sustainably. But yeah, look, it's been really great to speak to you, Saket. I think there's some great gems in here and great knowledge for our traders and anyone watching. So yeah, very great to have you on, and looking forward to see your continued work with us in the future, and hopefully we can get you back on in the next few months with even more success.
100%.
Awesome. Thanks for joining.